My presence here is indeed an honor, and at the same time, a source of overwhelming pleasure because I have the opportunity to speak before the best scientific communicator. I think I'm also blessed. But that was thought-provoking. I want to begin by apologizing sincerely why I came late. But if I tell you the reasons, you will sympathize and empathize with me. I was supposed to be here earlier than the time I came, but I had to be called to a meeting with my colleague, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, on an issue of galamsey. I guess that word galamsey is strange, or most of you wouldn't know. That is illegal mining and the destruction it caused to our water bodies, the environment. It started as an environmental issue. It is now a national security concern. And we're supposed to jointly inaugurate a committee based on a report that had been submitted, which is threatening our basic survival as a state. So I had no other option than to sit in for the inauguration. So I sincerely apologize for being late. I usually don't attend programs late. I always want to be there before the scheduled time for the program to begin. I hope my apology is accepted. I'm not getting the sense that you've forgiven me. I am honored to address this distinguished gathering as we come together for the second Global Congress on Genetic Biocontrol Technologies held here in the beautiful city of Accra, even though I'm from northern part of the country. And I was jealous when they were praising my friend Smoke. I'm aware of smokes. I regretted I didn't wear smoke. I should have worn smoke so that I could also take a benefit of the praises. This collaboration effort between Africa Genetic Biocontrol Consortium and Ghana National Biosafety Authority represent a crucial step forward in our shared commitment in Ghana to advancing biosafety and regulatory framework for emerging biotechnologies. The purpose of the second Congress is to build upon the valuable recommendations generated from the inaugural Congress held in Nairobi, Kenya in 2023. As Ghana, this Congress will enable us, the scientific community and other stakeholders in our country to identify specific capacity building needs and explore strategies to address them within the evolving regulatory landscape, both regionally and internationally. Our focus remains steadfast on fostering informed and transparent decision-making processes that support the responsible development and deployment of genetic biocontrol agents or products. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am aware that the objectives of this meeting are multifaceted and underscore the importance of collaboration, knowledge sharing, and strategic planning. Thus, it seeks to bring experts together, and I can see a lot of experts here, because I've gotten the sense from the wonderful presentations we have had from the three gentlemen. I was only disappointed that I didn't see a lady also do the presentation before I speak. Thus, it seeks to bring experts together, strengthen collaboration, and identify actionable steps. That means that this Congress has assembled leading biotechnology and biosafety professionals in the world, alongside esteemed experts from across the African continent. When I started, I was asking my colleague, those African countries that are present, and I was again disappointed that I didn't have someone from Guinea, because my wife is actually from Guinea. And I was expecting to see my in-laws being here. This diverse collective will share experience, analyze key capacity building needs, and discuss emerging challenges in the developing and implementing robust regulatory frameworks. I commend your goal of enhancing alignment among stakeholders, fostering future collaborative efforts, and building capacity development on emerging technologies. By focusing on Ghana and neighboring countries, you aim to build a cohesive approach that supports decision-making processes related to genetic biocontrol technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, I am profoundly elated to learn that through this Congress, we seek to identify actionable steps through other NEPAC and allocate responsibilities to advance the biotechnology and biosafety agenda in Ghana. This includes exploring ways to support decision-making processes for genetic biocontrol agents or products effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize that the critical role of professional development and regulatory expertise as the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology. I acknowledge the importance of equipping our scientists and regulators with the necessary knowledge and skills to navigate complex regulatory frameworks. This Congress will feature discovery research along with technology development and ongoing experiential experiences of those moving existing technologies to the field. The Congress will bring those working in insects, plants, fish, mammals, and other organisms together. This is an opportunity to bring researchers, developers, and practitioners together so that future genetic biocontrol activities will take place within a community with shared interests and values. Mr. Chairman, permit me to add, I had a discussion with my colleagues before we came in. As a minister, I have spent less than virtually 2 months as the Minister for Environment. And when I was being vetted, I said, you have a political scientist who is appointed to head a ministry that is entirely dealing with pure science. So what I intended doing, and which I have discussed with His Excellency the President, that we must have a first science, research, and technology fair, where we bring together research institutions, scientists with players in the industry. And I thought of doing that because when I was sworn in, barely a month ago, I decided to pay a working visit after I had engaged heads of the various agencies under my ministry. And almost all the agencies under my ministry, their core mandate and functions are to innovate and research. So I decided to visit the institutions and the agencies. And I was shocked that there is a lot of information out there which is unknown to even me, a politician and a member of parliament at least 3 terms in parliament, and having served as a member of the Environment Committee in my first parliament in the SIF Parliament. I was not aware of such research outputs. So the question I ask myself is, how many of the players in the industries are aware of such research outputs? So I feel that if you have this fair, it will be an opportunity to bring researchers, scientists closer to players in the industry so that they can share this indeed output and see how we can help grow our country. The research output which is left in desks to gather dust is as useless as not even conducting any research. Because I've noticed that a lot of the research institutions, Mr. Chair, do not have enough resources to do the kinds of things they want to do. But there's an opportunity to commercialize their research output. And the entities that can help them commercialize them are those who are operating in the private sector. And that has informed the decision to organize this fair, which we'll be doing biannually. Because the president's suggestion was that we should do it 2 times a year. I wanted us to do it every quarter. But of course, it involves training, some programming, some planning. And I am using this opportunity to invite you to participate in the research fair, which we intend to have somewhere in May. If you refuse to come and you invite me next time, I won't come. Ladies and gentlemen, the burden of malaria cases in Africa is still very high. And when my friend asked the number of those who have gotten malaria in the past 3 years, I wanted to raise my hand, and I said, no, let me not raise my hand. Because if I raise my hand, that would deem a failure of someone who has a responsibility of helping to formulate policies that you yourself are affected. And my colleague was saying that he's not too sure whether what he experienced in the past was malaria or not. Because we live in a part of the country, malaria has been a challenge to the extent that we all know the symptoms of malaria. So even when you get malaria, you don't even need to go to hospital. You just go and buy the malaria drug and start taking. That is what we experience here. Unfortunately, we don't even go to do tests because we are so conditioned that whether you like it or not, you'd experience malaria one way or the other. So anytime you are feeling feverish, the conclusion is that, oh, our malaria. In fact, our mothers, and I remember in growing up, anytime you are feeling feverish, the first drug they buy is malaria drug. And you start taking it without even having any test to determine whether what you are going through is malaria or not. So it's a serious threat. It has become a socioeconomic challenge confronting all of us. And I was asking my colleague whether we have a data as to the number of people who lose their lives in this country as a result of malaria. I was shocked that when he Googled, the figure he gave me was shocking. In a country where we have a limited fiscal space, we are spending over almost $450 million, I guess, in fact, the effects of malaria to the economy is around $450 million annually. And the number of people who lose their lives as a result of that. So platforms such as this are things that we would encourage and we will benefit as politicians and as policymakers. I am extremely proud that our research scientists in the sub-Saharan countries are collaborating with their counterparts around the world. And thank you so much, flying all the way from United States of America to add your input to research into how genetic solutions could be used to fight malaria transmission on the continent and the world as a whole. Even though many malaria countries' interventions have been ruled out in Ghana in the last 2 decades, malaria still remains one of Ghana's main causes of mortality and morbidity. And I agree, everybody is scared of HIV/AIDS because we are conditioned to believe that at least when AIDS started or when someone grew up to hear about AIDS, the moment you get it, you die. And it got to a time when people were growing lean, they will conclude that maybe the person has AIDS. But malaria kills and kills more. Unfortunately, much attention is not being given. And I must admit, as a politician, maybe we haven't given much attention in terms of the investment we make and the policies we formulate towards mitigating some of these challenges. In Ghana, we are proud that our scientists at the University of Ghana are supporting gene-drive research to fight malaria. That's my school. I've had 3 degrees in that university. Given the potential of this technology vis-a-vis the threat of malaria to human health and development, I am heartened to see experts from various sectors coming together to brainstorm and develop a reliable system that ensures the effective harnessing of these new technologies. Your dedication and expertise are invaluable in shaping the future of biosafety and regulatory framework in Ghana and across the continent of Africa. I urge each of you to give this topic the attention it deserves. The potential of genetic biotechnologies to improve Africa agriculture, environment, and health is immense. And our collective efforts today will pave the way for responsible innovation and sustainable development. When I was vetted, your representative after that came to my office and said a friend called him and said, thank God we have a friend in the office as the Minister for Environment. Because I was asked a question on GMO. And the colleagues of members of parliament, when they were vetting me, who asked the question, are GMO pessimist. And I appeared to be a GMO optimist. And then when I answered the question, I guess those who align and believe in the principle I stand for in the matter of GMO, indeed became my friends I haven't met. But at least we are friends on principle. I encourage our scientists to work towards enhancing public participation, biosafety, communication, awareness, and sensitization programs among various stakeholders through training and capacity building initiatives on this technology. I am confident that this Congress will provide a forum for our scientists and institutions in Ghana to discuss opportunities for networking and exchange of ideas with other counterparts from the African region and other parts of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I commend the National Biosafety Authority in Africa, particularly Ghana, for their diligent effort in creating a conducive environment for regulating and providing guidance on genetic biocontrol biotechnologies. The guidelines produced by the Biosafety Authority in Ghana serves as a valuable resource for stakeholders and the collaborative partnership with other regulatory agencies, thereby further strengthening the effective regulations and oversight of this product in Ghana. In conclusion, I affirm my ministry. In fact, the ministry, I am just a humble servant. The ministry's unwavering support for the Ghana National Biosafety Authority and its partners in providing leadership, exceptional services, and guidance on emerging technologies. Let us work together to ensure that our regulatory frameworks are robust, adaptable, and aligned with global best practice. I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody for coming, and it is my prayer and hope that you've enjoyed the beautiful city of Accra, and I would urge you to try and taste some of the best food of Ghana. If you won't taste anything, at least taste jollof, which we own. And our friends in Nigeria, they're trying to steal the jollof from us. I think it's been settled. It was settled by the BBC, settled by CNN, and settled by everybody, including our friends from Tanzania and Kenya, that jollof is indeed a Ghanaian food and not that of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you all.